Well, be careful where you get your petrol from. Let's begin. Obviously, yes, at the moment, the government seems to be ramming EVs down our throats, don't they, with the 2035 ban on new petrol and diesel cars. However, that ban is, let's face it, a long way away, and may get pushed back even further, so petrol stations are here for the foreseeable future. And personally, if I had my way, I think they should remain for any customers who don't actually want to feel forced to switch to an EV. But that's beside the point. It does appear, though, that customers of Morrison's aren't exactly too happy when they've been filling up there. So why is that then? What's been going on? Well, according to this article, it says customers have been left fuming after claiming that the fuel from a major supermarket is contaminated, causing cars to break down. And obviously, as I said, that's Morrison's, and that Morrison's petrol station is in Bristol, and customers have reported motor issues after filling up with what they believe to be problems with the fuel. It wouldn't surprise me at all if someone from the government or one of the organisations wanting people to get EVs to say something like, this wouldn't happen with an EV, would it? Thereby, of course, hoping more and more people would buy EVs instead. And who knows, maybe actually even nearer the time of the 2035 ban, if people aren't, shall we say, switching over as soon as the government would like, we might see, I don't know, maybe more and more contaminated fuel. And obviously, hopefully I'm wrong, and I'm not saying that is the case here. I'm sure it's an innocent mistake, but at the end of the day, that mistake has cost, or presumably cost, should I say, customers quite a lot of problems. And if anything, Morrison's surely need to reimburse customers for any damage to their cars, the cost of the fuel itself, and any out-of-pocket expenses that they wouldn't have otherwise had. So what has Morrison said about this? Well, apparently they have not confirmed if the fuel was contaminated or not, but it is looking into reports of a handful of vehicles breaking down. And the supermarket thankfully closed its petrol tank at midday last Sunday following customer concerns, and it remains shut while investigations continue, because let's face it, it's going to cost them a boatload if people continue to fill up, wouldn't it? If it is down to contamination, that is. Taking their frustrations to social media, one user affected said, I had 3/4 of a tank, so I thought I would top up. Well, why would you top up if you had 3/4 of a tank? I mean, I don't know about you, but if anything, surely people would top up if they had about a quarter left. I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? But either way, I managed to get home, but the car was starting to lose engine power. And when I went back to the car after getting home, it wouldn't start. It's now at the garage being sorted. And RAC told me that he thought it was contaminated fuel. Another customer though, so it's not just the one person, named Kristen, told Bristol Live, we drove off without knowing anything was wrong, to then break down on Hartcliffe roundabout, along with 5 other cars that had been broken down at the same place for the same reason. And I was advised that I would need to take my tank drained and pay for it up front myself and complete a claims form for reimbursement from Morrison's, which, to be honest, is going to be a massive pain in the bum, isn't it? She apparently then went back to the main store and asked for the form, but they instead gave her insurance number on a scrap of paper, which obviously that wasn't what she was asking for, I'm guessing. Meanwhile, Martin Porter Lansby said it was caused a huge inconvenience and he is worried it will cost him a small fortune to repair. Well, it cost Morrison's a bit as well if they're found to be at fault, I'm guessing. Another customer shared their annoyance after wasting 50 quid of petrol. But what have Morrison said about this? Well, their official spokesperson has told The Sun the petrol tank at our Hartcliffe filling station was closed at midday on Sunday, February 18th, following reports of a handful of vehicles breaking down. Whilst we are currently investigating, any customers who experienced any issues should contact the store directly. And if I was anyone who suddenly thought, you know, my car seems to be making more noises than my farts, I would just go and do that. They also say that the petrol tank currently remains closed, but customers wishing to purchase diesel and super unleaded are able still to do so. So if you want petrol, you got to stump up for the dearer product. Well, isn't that nice of them? Perhaps you'd think, if anything, they would reduce that price to match their cheaper petrol, because let's face it, it's not the customer's fault at the end of the day. And yes, I know Morrison's are still investigating, but either way, you'd think they'd do that as a goodwill gesture, wouldn't you? But something in my crystal ball tells me that they won't be.